They called me in just past dawn. It was November 13th, 2022. Cold, dry air clung to the hills of Moscow, Idaho. The kind of morning where everything feels too still. But nothing about that day would ever be still again. A quiet off-campus home on King Road had become the scene of something unimaginable. For young students, bright, full of life, were gone, stabbed in their sleep. No sign of forced entry, no clear motive, no witnesses who saw the killer leave. Kaylee Goncalves, Madison Mogan, Xana Kernadle, Ethan Chapin, names we now remember like echoes. Friends, siblings, children, each one taken violently in the dark. Inside that house, time had stopped. We processed the scene by flashlight. Blood patterns, defensive wounds, a knife sheath left behind. It would take weeks to piece together a timeline. But from the start, I knew it wasn't random. I've seen a lot in my years. But this case, it watched us as much as we watched it. The killer hadn't just slipped away. He'd studied them. He knew the layout, the routines. But he left clues. Always do. We learned that a white Hyundai Elantra had been spotted near the scene that morning. Repeated cell tower pings showed someone circling the area in the early hours. Surveillance, perhaps, or hesitation. And then there was the knife sheath, left on the bed beside Madison. A trace of DNA, faint but viable. Male. Unknown. Until we matched it to trash recovered from a home in Pennsylvania. December 30th, 2022. Bryan Kohberger, Ph.D. student in criminology. Quiet. Analytical. Lived just across the border in Washington state. Taught classes about crime theory. Asked unsettling questions about how murderers think. He was arrested at his parents' home, calm, cooperative. Like someone who thought he might never get caught. Some wondered, was it arrogance? Or was it obsession? Did his study of serial killers blur the lines between research and reality? He didn't speak much, but we learned from what he didn't say. His phone had gone dark during the time of the murders, off from 2:47 a.m. to 4:48 a.m. His Elantra matched the one in our footage. His DNA matched the sheath. He had visited the area over a dozen times before the crime. The families waited. A trial was set for 2024, then delayed, and delayed again. In the meantime, the home where it all happened was demolished. The University of Idaho wanted to erase the shadow. But some of us feared the memory was being buried too fast. Court documents began to reveal more. Kohberger had applied for an internship with the local police. He'd followed news coverage of the murders obsessively. There were allegations, never confirmed, that he had messaged at least one of the victims on Instagram. We prepared for trial. Possible death penalty case. Forensic experts, emotional testimonies, years of anguish waiting for answers. But then, June 2025, everything changed. Bryan Kohberger stood in court and said the words no one expected. Guilty. 4 counts of first-degree murder. 1 count of burglary. No trial. No jury. No cross-examination. Just life sentences. No death penalty. Some families were furious. Kaylee's father called it a betrayal. Xana's aunt said it robbed them of the truth. Others were relieved, if only because they could now begin to mourn without court delays. Kohberger didn't speak much. He nodded. He cried once. Then he was taken away. He'll never walk free again. But the question still lingers in every hallway I walk. Was that justice? You see, the truth is, the justice system doesn't always tie things up with a bow. Sometimes it just stops the bleeding. But closure? That's different. We remember those kids not just as victims, but as people. Xana's laugh, Ethan's loyalty, Kaylee and Madison's inseparable bond. They were bright futures, dimmed too soon. And Bryan Kohberger? A man who studied crime so deeply he may have become it. Phone data even showed he searched Ted Bundy a number of times. So now I ask you, does avoiding the death penalty mean avoiding justice? Or is there mercy in never letting him see the light again? You decide. Because some stories stay with us forever.
Like and subscribe.